Mhm. Got it.
And we're good. You can go ahead and start.
Hang on a second, I'm getting messages.
Oh,
No, I'm not. There we go. That's much better. Okay, I'm going to start. Here we go. Hi, everybody. What the heck? Can we start over? Would you stop it, please, Anissa?
No, go ahead and start.
I'm hearing my voice echoing back to me.
Close the YouTube window. You're still recording, you're fine.
Okay. I'm trying to find it. I don't see a YouTube open.
Do alternate tab.
This is a Mac.
That's fine. Command tab is fine. Or option tab, excuse me.
Zoom, fine. I did. Oh, alternate. Where's the alt?
Until you go to the web browser, or you can just close your web browsers.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, we're not hearing echo. You can go ahead.
So are we recording, or should I stop the
Yes.
recording
No,
and start
go-
again?
No, just go ahead and start.
I don't understand, but okay. Welcome to Let's Not Let You Be a Victim. This is a talk about fraud and how you can avoid it. And our speaker's name is Jackie. Jackie started her career with an agency that has a huge long name, the Enforcement Division of the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, affectionately known as DFPI. Since 2001, she has worked in the community, frequently speaking on financial literacy topics to inform seniors on how to recognize the warning signs of financial investment fraud and scams, mortgage foreclosure fraud, and to help empower consumers of all ages to make informed financial decisions. So a couple of housekeeping items. Please hold any questions until the end of the presentation, but feel free to use Zoom and reactions before the end of the presentation. And at the end, please stay to make sure that you get the link for the course evaluation. You can take it away, Jackie.
okay. Thank you, Linda. I have to thank you again for offering this invitation to provide this presentation to your group, to the committee. Like she said, my name is Jackie Wiley, and I am one of the outreach specialists with the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, also known as DFPI, which I will be saying throughout the presentation. I started out in the Enforcement Division as basically the consumer services representative for the whole department. So with over 25 years of working there, I have heard, I have seen, I have witnessed information from individuals who have been defrauded, who have been scammed, and who have lost life savings because they are so trusting. So that's just a small background about myself. I cover the Los Angeles County region, and I have been doing outreach since 2021. So let's get started now that you know a little myself. Who is the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation? I get that question all the time. We are formerly the Department of Business Oversight, and our mission is still the same. We have just a new name, which is to help protect Californians when doing business with a professional, an organization, or a state financial institution. We are a state regulatory and licensing agency with oversight of state financial institutions, products, and professionals, such as state chartered banks and credit unions, California financial lenders, residential mortgage lenders and servicers, student loan servicers, payday lenders, broker dealers and investment advisors, escrow agents, and the PACE administrations, and a host of other industries that we cover. I have on the screen our contact information here, a link to get a full list of the licensees and regulated industries that we handle. We also conduct audits and pursue legal actions against those operating illegally. And we know that that is in abundance, using unlawful, deceptive, or abusive practices. So my job and my task is to provide fraud and scam awareness throughout Southern California. As we know, millions are falling prey to frauds and scams, and that is why it is more important than ever to learn how to safeguard your personal and financial information. So let's get started. So, you know, since the pandemic came, before the pandemic came about, we were used to hearing the term scams. But now, since the pandemic, you know, the terminology has gotten a little more sophisticated, and it's phishing with a V, phishing, phishing, and smishing. And these are all methods that differ in how scammers contact us, by email, text, or by phone, with one commonality, and it's to steal personal details or your financial account information. Phishing is through the phone or robocall or voicemail. Phishing, again, is contacting you via email. And smishing is contacting via short message services. Sometimes we'll see that SMS text message. Again, it's the commonality. They create a sense of urgency, which tries to get you to act or take action with a single goal in mind. Again, stealing our money and our personal information. And I'm saying our. I do presentations a lot for older adults because they're mostly vulnerable, they're kind, they have money, they have the nest egg, but anybody is susceptible to becoming a victim of fraud, whether you are 10 or 100. So it is more important to today to learn how to protect yourself as best we can. So let's look at some of the phishing scams that we're hearing about. And that, again, that's through the telephone. So, yep, hello, who's calling? Again, these common scams you may have heard of, they become more frequent and more sophisticated. Again, with that sole purpose of gaining access to our personal information and our money. So what we're hearing that's trending, and I do a lot of presentations, so I hear a lot of things from the audience, you know, through our call center. So I want to talk about some of the ones that are trending that we are, and that is that grandparent relative phone call. It's a call in a panic voice. Grandma, grandpa, it's me. They are either hurt, they have been arrested, they're in the hospital, and they need money right away. And then, you know, it goes on to say, we'll put the arresting officer on the line so that they'll instruct you in how to send the money. But please don't call mom and dad. That's the reason why I'm calling you, Granny, so that you can take care of this right away. They will go to put the quote unquote arresting officer, quote unquote, the attorney who is there to provide those instructions to money. We have to be very careful. They'll instruct you to go get a gift card. Maybe they'll want you to Zelle. Maybe they'll use, you know, pay by phone, but you are instructed on how to go get the money and come back and call a particular number to pay to release your loved ones. So please, before you do anything, Verify, verify, verify the information. Always do your homework. I've had instances where individuals have shared that they have received this particular phone call, and the grandchild was sitting right next to them. But what that individual had did when they got the phone call, grandma, it's me. They said, Jackie, is that you? They divulge the name of their grandchild. So please don't divulge any information. We have to remember the people who are calling, they are scammers. They don't know anything about your family, who your grandchild is or your relative is. They're waiting for you to give information. So before you do that, verify that the loved one is not in danger. So let's talk about credit cards. So we all know that credit cards is, the card that you use to make purchases. You might receive a phone call that says they received a large purchase made in a different state, and they're calling to verify that you are the person who made the purchase. It could be a voice message. And if it's a voice message, what they're going to do is they're going to leave a phone number for you to call back. And again, what is that doing? They're to provide your credit card information. If you know that you have not made the purchase, please don't entertain the call, hang up. Any phone call that we get are in this manner are all frightening. But for us, we need to go to the credit card in our purse, turn it over, and call that number to verify. Never call the number that is provided for you on your answer machine, or press 1 to connect the call, or even through a text message. And you'll see that in another slide later. So again, verify your information yourself. Financial relief. Of course, the pandemic has set a lot of people back financially, and unfortunately, people are looking for financial relief by any means necessary. Maybe it's an investment opportunity. Maybe you need to consolidate. Maybe you're thinking about doing a modification, for your mortgage. Now it's buy now, pay later. We all know that if we have credit cards, that's how it works. You buy it now and you pay later. But buy now, pay later has fees larger than if you were just have a regular credit card. Maybe you'll get a phone call with someone offering to lower your APRs so that you can be able to make the monthly payments. Whatever the financial strains that people have been having, abundance of phone calls from individuals offering all types of things, even to the fact something as simple as maybe I need to lower my cable bill. And maybe you'll get a phone call, or you'll call and somebody will say, we're offering this, but in order for us to either add more channels or lessen your channels, you need to pay a fee. I've had an individual who did just that, and he wanted to increase his cable channel, but he was an elderly man. So of course the solicitation was sounded good, but they told him that he needed to write a check for $300 and that they would take care of increasing, his cable channels. The man never saw the person again, and that was actually an invitation of someone coming into a closed complex. So even though we live in closed communities like a gate, and they have someone coming in to speak or to offer these things, still do your homework, and always remember you shouldn't have to pay in advance to do things. There are a lot of resources. He could have simply called his cable company and went that route and spread it out his payments, but instead he was coasted by an individual who came into his home, and he welcomed them because he felt that it was okay to do that because he was an invited solicitor onto the property. But he wrote a $300 check and never saw the person again. So, we need to be mindful about investment opportunities, or just looking to for financial relief. We all get solicitation phone calls. We are always going to get solicitation phone calls, but it is up to us to hang up and not entertain the call. And if someone is posing an investment opportunity, again, contact the DFPI so that we can make sure that the individual that you're doing business with is properly licensed throughout California to sell in the manner in which they are selling. We are on the state level, and then we have the SEC who is on the federal level. But I cannot implore anymore to say, do your homework before you engage in doing business. We're also hearing, and it's not on the list, but DFPI now licenses debt collectors, and we all know, and we should know, the rights when dealing with the debt collector. We all know that this is a third party trying to collect on a debt they say that you owe. We're hearing about individuals receiving phone calls, and they're identifying themselves as a debt collector, and telling them that you need to pay right now. We're making a deal with you. You owe $500 on this particular bill. If you pay $250 right now, we'll wipe the debt clean. First and foremost, if you know that you don't owe the debt, you don't need to entertain that call. And what also happened, which is another unfortunate, people are being harassed or they are threatening, which again provides fear into them to just go ahead and pay it, especially if I'm an older adult and I'm not, maybe I have a little bit of cognitive impairment and I don't remember, the phone call. I don't remember that I don't owe this bill. So be mindful. And if you're experiencing that type of phone call, please contact us. We also hear a lot about phone calls or for IT help. If and when you are on your computer and you start getting pop-ups or your computer starts locking and freezing and just going array, the first thing you should do is disconnect from the internet and shut down your device. Pop-ups are often used by criminals to spread malicious software. So if you start seeing something like that, maybe you'll get a phone call and someone will say, I see that you're having a problem with your computer. It seems like you've gotten hacked, but we can rectify that situation for you. Of course, they're going to want personal information. You should never give a stranger control of your computer. Shut it down, come off of the internet, go to your children, your grandchildren, a neighbor who is savvy nowadays with the computer and technology. And God forbid you get a phone call with someone telling you that your computer has been hacked and you weren't even on the computer to begin with. That is a definite red flag sign. So again, receiving that phone call, don't buy into it. We are hearing an abundance of government imposter phone calls. Let's start with Social Security. You get a phone call, your Social Security card has been frozen. Please call this number back to verify the information. First of all, they are a government agency. No government agency will call you to verify anything. If you get the call, never call the number that they're asking you to call back. Call Social Security Administration yourself, okay? IRS, a lot of us have the phone viewers where we can see the caller ID and maybe the phone rings and it'll say Internal Revenue Service. Right off the bat, you should say, why would the Internal Revenue Service be calling me? Again, it is a government agency. They're not going to call you to say, hey, Linda Khan, yes, this is the IRS, and we noticed that your taxes are late. We noticed that you haven't made a payment on past due taxes. They don't have time for that. So please don't be buy into it just because your caller ID identified in them as being the IRS. That's spoofing. Okay, so anybody can spoof a phone call to make it seem that it's who it is calling. Medicare, same thing. And I tell my mom this all the time. If you know that you are not expecting a call about an appointment or from Medicare or from Medi-Cal, and someone calls you and wants to verify information or say that they have something that they can lower on your bill. Please don't give the information out. The bottom line to us receiving these phone calls, we didn't make the call ourselves. We didn't initiate the call. So be cautious. The red flag sign there is they are calling you. You're not expecting the phone call. You didn't are not waiting for a call back. Please be mindful. You didn't initiate the call and they're calling you and asking you anything personal, you should hang. The utility company, we're hearing about that a lot, and it goes like this. Hi, this is Jackie, and I'm calling from the delinquent department of DWP, and it says that your services are going to be shut off if you don't pay by 5 o'clock today. Now, I'm giving you a courtesy call, so how do you want to pay it? Do you want to pay by check over the phone? We'll take a credit card, etc. Again, could you imagine if utilities companies called you or called people to remind them that their bill is late and their services are going to be shut off by the end of the day? They wouldn't have time to do anything else. Okay. Again, it's a government agency. They're not going to call you. And one step further than that, if anything is delinquent, your utility bill, your credit card bill, you're going to get that notification in the mail, and it's going to say, past due, please pay immediately. They're not going to call you to remind you to pay your bill. So if you get that phone call with someone identifying themselves as a utility worker within the delinquent department and saying that they're going to shut off your services, please hang up and call yourself, especially if you know that you did not, if you're not delinquent. Financial institutions calling to say, oh, hey, I'm calling from ABC Bank, and Ms. Wiley, I see that you have been a customer of ours for over 25 years. We want to thank you for your service, but today we're doing courtesy calls to all our customers, and we're verifying and updating our records. Wait a minute, because now you want, could you verify your account number? No. Could you verify your social security number? No. Why do I need to verify if I've been a customer for over 25 years? They should be providing me that information. You may get a call from your financial institution telling you that there's been some suspicious activity on your banking. Again, you did not initiate the phone call. Don't fall for ID identifying that is a known entity that you are familiar with or that you bank with. You didn't make the phone call. Call the institution yourself. So that's some of the phishing, which are the phone calls that we're hearing about. Let's look at some phishing, some emails. I got this email, I hope you can see it. I tried to blow it up as best possible. Now, if I got an email that looks something like this, the first thing that's going to stand out to me is the Bank of America logo. It looks real official, right? But if I'm looking at from Bank of America, look at the email address. It is an @comcast.net. That has nothing to do with Bank of America. We need to start looking at the letter in its entirety, looking for errors. This letter has a whole lot of grammatical errors in it. And it's very important for us to start hovering over the links when we receive something. On this second paragraph, please sign into your account at. It is grammatically written incorrectly, but then the website next to it, if you hovered over it, it's not bankofamerica.com, it's something else. So just because you receive an email with an official looking logo, don't always believe it. Pay attention to what it looks like and what it's saying. And then it's telling me to reply to Comcast.net. So who's it from? The cable company or from Bank of America? So please pay attention to things that you receive via email or text message and even in the mail itself, okay? That's one example. Now let's look at some of these SMS, which is short message services, text messages that people are receiving. I have been getting a text message telling me that my account at Wells Fargo has been locked and I need to call them immediately. And I laugh and I delete it because I don't have a Wells Fargo account. So you see where I'm going with this. Let's take a look at this notice from Chase Bank. Your card is temporarily locked. Please call us now. We have provided a phone number for you to unlock the card. I just said, if you know that your card is not locked or you haven't experienced that and you get a message, a sudden message, a text message indicating something like this, do not call the number that is provided. You're going to go to your Chase Bank card and you're going to call your financial institution to verify that your card is okay. Never call the number that is provided for you, okay? Let's go to the top left-hand corner where it's talking about a Zelle payment. The Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, we regulate Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. These are all new methods that our young adults, I know my kids use this to transfer monies. So did you attempt a Zelle payment for an amount of $5,000? Reply yes or no, or 1 to decline fraud alerts. And it's showing that this person typed in no. Well, I'm going to stop you right there. First and foremost, we know that if you are sending someone a Cash App, let's say we all are out to dinner together and Linda says, I'm just going to put it on my credit card and everybody can pay me, their portion. And I'll say, okay, well, I'll Zelle you or I'll Cash App you. I have to do the transaction myself. So that's the first red flag sign for me to get this message, and knowing that I did not do the transaction, that is a red flag sign for me. And there's also indicating press yes or no. Don't do that. Delete the message, because what starts happening is either way you reply, you're going to immediately get a phone call from someone posing as your financial institution and start asking you questions about your account. This actually was on the news, and a young lady got a message like this about Zelle, about money that she supposedly had attempted to pay someone. And when she replied no, her phone rang. The person identified themselves as a financial institution, and they started asking her all of these personal questions while she was providing them with her checking account information. The person that was sitting next to him, working with him, was draining the money out of her account. He's talking to her, and then his accomplice was actually taking the money from the account because she was providing the information. So remember, don't reply yes or no. That can activate a phone call for you. But first and foremost, remember, when you are transferring money using those methods, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, you have to do the transaction yourself. And here's another one. We have identified some unusual activity on your online banking. Since the pandemic, many more people are doing online services. Okay. Now, if I get this message, I would be like, oh my gosh, of course you're going to get nervous, but I'm telling you not to log into this provided email to secure your account. This is what they want you to do, because the minute you log on, they have your information. Call your financial institution directly yourself to verify that your online banking is safe. So with that, I want to say this. Let's talk about some cyber safety tips. So again, with the online banking, we have passwords that we're using. We're providing our cell phone numbers. We're providing an abundance of information when we are online doing banking and other transactions. We need to guard that information like our firstborn, okay? And let's also remember, I'm doing more online banking than I've ever done. I may want to check my account. I want to see if something has posted, but I'm remembering to sign out or to log out of the app and not just close it. It just gives you a peace of mind that you signed off and it's not just hanging out there. That's number one. Number two, secure network. We know that the internet is helpful, but it is also harmful. How do you know that you are on a your network? You look for the lock if you are shopping online. Do you notice that the HTTP has an S, which I've circled in red, which means secure? And we get emails from different types of stores advertising sales and things like that. Be careful. Pay attention to the extensions. And one of the reasons why I share that, there was another young lady who, I mean, we've all probably purchased something off of Amazon, right? Amazon has been getting a lot of complaints, and there's been a lot of activity, suspicious activity. So she shops at Amazon, and you know, when you shop and you finish making your purchases, immediately you're going to get the email that or the text message that says, "Thank you for shopping at Amazon. We'll text you when your shipment is about to be shipped." She got that message. Maybe a few minutes later, she got another text message from Amazon and said there was a problem with your personal information, your credit card. Could you please re-enter it? So she did, not thinking anything of it. Then she paid attention to the extension, but she had already pressed the button. It was Amazon.con, C-O-N, instead of Amazon.com. So be mindful that there are a lot of what we call copycat sites. So hover, pay attention to your URLs, and watch your extensions. And now the next thing, two-step verifications. When we're banking, and older adults, and I've had people in the audience say, "Oh, I really don't want to do that. I'm just, comfortable with, just being able to log on." And that's fine. But two-step verification gives you an extra layer of protection because it sends a code to verify that it is you that is logging on, and they're going to send the code to your phone, okay, or to your email. Again, it provides an extra layer of protection on your cell phone and logging into your computers. So that's something that you can think about doing. Passwords. We're also used to using regular passwords. My baby's birthday, our anniversary, my first grandchild was born on such and such. These are such common passwords. We need to start thinking about pass phrases and not using just the usual dates. Maybe "I love the color green," hashtag exclamation #1. Something that can give the hacker a little bit of run for their money. So think about changing your passwords, if not every 3 months, or at least a couple of times a year. And of course, write it down where only you will know where it is. Limiting our personal information on Facebook. Yes, so many people are on Facebook, limiting your personal information. We should only be adding people that we know. If you use social media, be mindful that other people are on there as well, and they can be stalking your page, gathering information about you. And one of the things I also talk to young adults about is stop posting where you are. I'm excited that you are going on vacation and you guys are leaving on Sunday, September 20th. And wow, you guys are going to be gone a long time. And how do I know that? This expose the date of when you're going to be returning. You have to think about your home may be empty. It's just too much information being put on Facebook, okay? And I bring that up because of this. older adults are excited to be a part of modern technology. We have been locked up, we have been isolated, we have been lonely, we've been away from our family, and welcome the attention, whether it's via a phone call and now the internet. I'm so excited that, older adults are on Facebook because we can reconnect now. But these online interactions, which can occur, there are dating apps, there's social media, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, and there's other websites where we have to be mindful that it involves scammers forming fake relationships with victims in order to manipulate them and take their money. We are hearing an abundance of older adults who are online dating scams. These are called sweetheart swindles or the romance scam. And when they start meeting someone because they have their picture posted up there, like this one online, the individual starts professing their love quickly, starts asking for money, and then they'll say, well, you know what, let's come off of this site so that no one can see our conversation because I only want to talk to you. And I had an individual who, was caught up in the romance scam, and what she shared was, the individual kept postponing when they can meet in person. Well, we FaceTime. The individual told her, well, I have a very old phone and, it doesn't do FaceTime, so I can't even do that with you. So she said, oh, if that's the only problem, let me send you the money. You can buy yourself a new phone. Now, we all know that cell phones are not cheap. So once she did that, now the door is open for him to start asking for money for other things. And, we have to, it's very difficult when an older adult is romanced online because they believe the individual is really in love with them. And I just had a person share with me an individual $75,000 that she's out of because she does not want to believe that the person is not really into her. And then, a recent report from the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center reported more than 3,000 Californians have fallen victim to online romance scams just last year, losing a total of nearly $184 million. And it is continuing to climb. So I like to say to my audience, you don't have to pay to find love this way because you can wind up in financial shambles. You know what I mean? You don't need to be romanced via the internet. But that happens, when you're lonely and that's your only means of communication. And it's not just only for older adults or that seniors are getting taken. There's young people who are on dating apps as well who have started with the cryptocurrency, investing because, hey, Delana, I have an uncle who is really good with investing. Have you heard about the cryptocurrency? And I, as an older adult or even a young adult, I don't know about it. Don't worry about it. He'll explain it. It's only going to cost 5,000 to 10,000 to come on in with me on this investment. We have older adults, seniors who have started doing that. I'm not trying to be funny, but we know that older adults don't know about cryptocurrency. So the online romance scam is becoming a really, really bad hot commodity, not only with seniors, but with younger adults. Okay. So I've given a lot of information, and what can you do? What can I do to safeguard my personal information? Well, don't answer the phone. It's a shame that nowadays, your telephone rings and you get tired of going to the phone and answering it, and it's a solicitor. But just hang up. Don't give them the time of day. Because once you start talking to them, they're going to continue to call. And we all know what a robocall is. It's someone calling and you might say, hello, 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 and then a recording might come on, or maybe no one comes on and you hang up. These callers are kind of tracking When is a good time for them to call you back? They're kind of tracking when you're home and when you're answering your phone. And that's their job, is to wear us down with a call after call after call, and opportunity after another. Verify that there is an issue. If you receive a phone call about your card being locked, online banking from a financial institution, don't call the number that is provided for you. Verify the issue yourself by going to the source. Never give out your personal information. Remember, if you did not initiate the call and someone's calling you and asking you all of these questions, please hang up. Be cautious about the links sent via text, and I shared that earlier. Just delete them. And for those of us who still write checks, and I'm guilty of that, I don't always have everything coming out automatic pay. If we're still writing checks, I suggest using an anti-fraud gel pen, and they can be purchased at home, Office Depot, Staples, or Walgreens, and it's going to say it on the pack: anti-gel prevention. And the reason why I suggest this, we still have people who dumpster dive and steal mail. So let's just say I wrote a check to make a payment to Macy's for my October payment. And I said $50 to Macy's, and my signature is on the check. If my check is stolen and someone check washes, which is a very simple solution that can be purchased, they're going to check wash the $50 and make it $500. Then they're going to check wash Macy's and make it their name, and the bank is going to cash it because my signature is still there. So another protection for writing checks would be an anti-fraud pin. Monitoring and freezing your credit. If you know that you're not going to be opening up any new credit anytime soon, you're not buying a car, you're not getting a home, you're not opening up any new credit cards, put a freeze on your credit. From young to old, people look at obituaries to find out personal information, believe it or not. So if you know that you're not in the market to open up any new credit, putting a freeze on it with all 3 credit bureaus. And if you need to have your credit run, you can just lift it, okay? Monitoring your credit. Pull your credit report. Maybe we haven't pulled our credit report in a long time. See what's on there to make sure that it is what it should be. And you can do it annually through annualcreditreport.com, or you can stagger it with each of the credit bureaus. So again, freezing your credit will stop someone from opening up new credit in your name, but it does not protect your current credit. So that's where our due diligence comes in, okay? And if you find that you may have been a victim of identity theft, you can file it with us, but then also file it with the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. And here is how the DFPI, how can we help you? The DFPI, if you're not familiar with who we are, here's our website. We host an abundance of resourceful information. You can find out the industries that we regulate and license. You can call our toll-free call center. We have live representatives who answer the phones. They are able to help you verify whether the individual, institution, or that you're thinking about doing business with is properly licensed. Doing business in the state of California, you need to be licensed either through us or through the SEC, which is the Securities and Exchange Commission. If you find that you have been a victim of a fraud or scam and you need to file a complaint, they can help walk you through that as well. Okay. Have a question, email us at ask.dfpi@dfpi.ci.gov. Maybe you're not sure whether this is a scam. Maybe you just have a simple question. I'm not really sure. I'm not finding any information about this particular company. Can you, do you have any information on it? You know, Ask the questions before you engage. This booklet that is up here has been like the DFPI, the department's Bible, Protect Yourself from Fraud. It talks about a lot of the scams that I mentioned today. We are in the process of revising it because of our new name change, but this is an excellent booklet to have, to go through. In the back of the book, it has a resource guide, the name of the organization, the responsibility of the organization, and either a phone number or a website. So this is an excellent book to have. It is free. We have it in English and in Spanish, and we have some other languages upcoming soon. Okay. And you can email us if you're interested in getting the booklet. And if you're also interested in a presentation for maybe a group that you are involved in, just email us at outreach@DFPI. Stay in touch with us. We have a monthly communications newsletter that we ask people to subscribe to. It has information about the laws. It has press releases. It has consumer alert information that the DFPI is involved in. You can also get that information from our website. We have scam information in there. So if you subscribe to it, you will receive that on a monthly basis. And then, of course, we're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So you can also follow us that way as well. So that's my presentation. And if I haven't said anything to you all today, the bottom line to everything that I have said, number one, trust your instincts. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Number two, never give out personal information unless you have initiated the contact. So all those incoming calls, and you may recognize the name, don't provide the information. You don't know who it actually is on the other line. And always go to the source yourself. Okay. So thank you for allowing me to share. And if you have any questions, let's hear them.
Lina?
Go ahead, Delina. You're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. First of all, you've scared me to death, which I've already been a little nervous about things that I want to log on to. For example, I'm into politics. Sometimes when they say, "Do you want to donate?" I don't ever donate because I'm afraid I might be, involved in a scam. So, how do we know for sure that people are legit? Because it comes on text messages, emails, every kind of way now.
So for donations, excuse me, for donations, we can verify the organization with charitynavigator.org, I think it is. And Delana, I know you from somewhere, but it's unfortunate.
If you know me from somewhere, it's Delina.
Delina, I'm sorry, but I remember your name from seeing you somewhere.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that the bad ones make it bad for the good ones. So it's doing our homework, but be mindful of the information that you are providing online. Is there a way that you can contact the organization to make the donation? Can you do a money order? Can you mail it versus sending it through online banking? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we might want to do a different route, but do
Right.
your homework first. Yes.
I had two others, but quickly. My mom was really more paranoid than I was. And when you talked about the Medicare, she had an outstanding bill. She didn't pay it. And she lost her Medicare. And it took us 2 years to get it back.
Oh my gosh.
She kept
Wow.
wanting Social Security, but she didn't know what to say. And, if you ever go to a Social Security office, that's a 2-hour visit minimum.
Minimum.
And she went like 3 different times. And finally, because I was working at the time, I just decided I'm going to take this on. It was the first experience I ever had. There was a little kid who was crawling all over his seat because he was so tired of waiting. I felt like doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
But we resolved it. But it took me to finally get the right questions and to talk to the right people, and they finally resolved it, but it was a nightmare.
I have a question. So it was pertaining to her Medicare?
Right. She had an outstanding bill, and the way Medicare works is if you Social Security, if you paid into Social Security, then it's covered. But she was working for LA Unified, and so part of it wasn't covered. So she had to supplement that extra money.
Ah,
Okay.
Know that, and she said, "Well, I thought it was a scam, so I didn't pay." And
Mm-hmm.
finding that way, and they give you several letters, and she kept ignoring it. So that's
Right.
one
And that,
poor
you know,
experience.
that's understandable because again, it is so much, um, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Is this a scam? Is this not a scam? But if for all of us, when we receive something, when we are unsure, go to the source,
Right.
call Medicare and say, you know, hey, I'm receiving these. Are you mailing these to me? Do I have an outstanding bill? So we have to get into the practice of going to the source to verify the
Right.
information. And are you familiar with Senior Medicare Patrol?
No.
That through California Health, and I'm going to provide you a wonderful contact person. Her name is Nikki Nozaki, but it's Senior Medicare Patrol for instances like that, um, um, to help individuals resolve Medicare issues. There's also problems where you have, thank you, you have individuals who use their Medicare or may receive a bill when they get their summary and say, wait a minute, I didn't order no wheelchair, because we also have people doing inside stuff, you know. So again, the protection as best we can, you know, is just so dangerous out here. So again, going to the source. And when we see something that we don't recognize, or we know that we did not initiate that, go to the source to verify it. And we have to not ignore. We need to go to the source.
They
Yeah.
make it so complicated nowadays because
Yeah. And
going
it's
to the
it's
source,
hard.
you might have to go to the source for a whole year.
Yeah.
It'll get
right.
resolved.
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
that experience. But
Okay.
also, do you take care of timeshare fraud?
You know, timeshares have, you know, I'm going to say the consumer affairs may be the avenue for that. For a long time, and I have been doing outreach for a long time, there wasn't really an agency that regulated timeshares. But I would start with consumer affairs. Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Rosetta has her hand up.
Hi, Rosetta.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you very much for that great presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does scare you, but you have to be aware.
Mhm.
I have a question about hacking. If you think that you have a device that has been hacked, what do you do?
When you say device other than maybe your laptop or
Like a Kindle.
I would probably go to, I'm not trying to be funny, maybe the Geek Squad at Best Buy, um, uh, because they're reputable. You know what I'm saying? They're known. Do you have, why do you think that it has been hacked?
Because I was getting strange information on it. Like I had a lot of books, but it was, it's through Amazon. So I had an account. I would order things on it because I had an account, Amazon account. And then I started getting, like it would come into where my books, when I would download a book, so those, I would get something there and I couldn't delete it. And I didn't even know what it was. And I showed it to my son and he thought, it was kind of strange too. So I just deleted, took it off of Wi-Fi, and I haven't used it since then. He told me I should call Amazon and go through with them because they have a procedure for that. Is that correct?
I would, that's a good suggestion, but make sure you're calling Amazon, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
And I would probably want to wipe the Kindle clean and maybe start fresh, you know. You may have some books that you stored on there, but I would rather wipe it clean before I did anything else.
Yeah, I
With the,
actually started I started a different account just on my computer.
Mhm.
And so I haven't even opened that Kindle since
Mhm.
then. And I have lots of books on there, but I'm afraid to transfer them anywhere.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
so you should be safe if you want to factory reset your Kindle. And then when you reconnect, it's a fresh start. It's like you're buying the device and opening it out of the box for the first time. And then you can sign into your preferred account, which will automatically bring along with it the books that you've already purchased. What you do want to do is make sure that you are not signing into like banking services or other things that have privacy related, and then using that Kindle in public spaces on public Wi-Fi. So that's one way that you can separate what you do on your Kindle device from your other types of connections.
Yes, I never used it anywhere but at home. So how would I do this factory reset? That would be with Amazon. You're saying to call them to do a factory reset.
Well, the factory reset can be done from inside your settings, the little gear icon. But if you feel safer, you can call Amazon's Kindle services, their support number first, and you can get the number when you sign into your Amazon account on your computer, locate the phone number and call that way. And that would be kind of a safer way. They may tell you that you don't need to factory reset it, or they may just give you other things to make sure that you're protected.
Okay. One other question. We have time.
Go for it.
So, you get all these telemarketer calls all the time. So I never answered them. I block them all the time. So I have so many numbers that are blocked because, of course, they call back, they'll change one number or whatever. It's the same people. So what can you do?
Nothing.
I mean, they're on my cell phone now because I never, answer my home phone. So it's my cell phone.
I get that question all the time, and it's unfortunate. Somebody asked me the other day, what can the state do to stop these people from calling? The do not call registry, and Anissa put that up there. It's good for 5 years, but you're still going to get the calls. And I believe that when you sign up with the do not call registry, it's basically taking the time to reporting those numbers that continue to call you. It's for them to try to violate the call. But like you said, it's one number, same person, different number, same person. So it's like a cycle. One of the other things is no mo robo, NOMO robo. Okay. And that's another way of blocking. And then you check, of course, with your phone carrier. My phone now, my cell phone has, if a phone call comes in, sometimes it'll just say scam likely. And, so right off the bat, and I just press the off button. I don't even pick it up. But unknown numbers, unknown numbers are going to get through. I don't know whether it's a scam or not, but if I don't recognize the number, either you're going to leave a voicemail or not, but I'm not, I get unknown caller all the time on my landline. And I used to tell my audience, unknown caller calls me every single day. I don't know who that is. So it's unfortunate that we are always going to get phone calls, and for us to empower ourselves and to do our due diligence by not answering, but the protections in place, but it gets bypassed, so no mo robo, NOMO ROBO. Anissa, you got that? And then check with your phone carrier to see how they can do the scam likely and also set up the blocking.
I do get like potential scams. So they are doing that. My
Mhm.
phone will say potential scams and they silence the call. So I don't, even hear it and don't answer it. But I didn't know they could help you block them. I just blocked them myself.
I just learned something that's cool about they silenced the call. I didn't know that,
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's my answer to that.
Thank you.
Not answering. Yeah. And don't believe if someone leaves the voice message, again, you don't know. We have to stop believing the message from the messenger that is calling us because we don't know who it really is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Go to the source.
So I didn't raise my hand, but I'm going to say something. The suggestion for the fraud-free pen, I have never heard of that.
Really?
And I've already looked it up and we'll order some. So
Okay.
thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
One last question.
Yes.
I was discussing this with Linda the other day. I was trying to call people and not getting too much success because a lot of seniors have this answering service, and two of them caught my eye. One was automated. It said, if you are not a friend or a relative, you better it said, and you are a solicitor, hang up now. So I said, I want to know how to get that service, for that answering service. Do you know anything about it?
I don't.
It was so cool. It's like, ooh,
Wow. Now I've seen that on people's front doors. If you are a solicitor, get off my porch.
Right. Well, this is on
I've
the
never
phone, and the
heard
other one
that.
was not a robot. It was you would tell the actual people that said basically the same thing.
Oh wow.
Don't
Okay.
don't waste our time. They said, don't waste our time and don't waste yours on the answering. I mean, on the message.
I'm gonna have to look that up and see how investigate that on the answering machine.
I guess I can do that myself. I can change my.
When you get it, can you send it to us?
Thank you so much. This has been very,
It's been great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, thank you all
Thank
for
you.
being here. And it's frightening, but we need to be proactive and do the best we can with protecting ourselves and not always believing who an individual that calls my phone is saying who they are, and just watching our online services.
And I have to figure out where I know you from too. So.
Okay.
You figure it out. Don't worry about it. Yeah. This was
Okay.
great. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you all, and continue to be safe. And if you have any questions, Linda, if you want the books, I can send them.
Yeah.
Just let me know. Okay.
Okay. Just one more thing. I want everybody to know that in chat, there's the link to evaluate the class.
Okay.
And that helps us a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Linda, you can click on the stop live stream.
I'm not getting a stop button. I have
Upper